Oh, selamat pagi, apa kabar? That means like good morning. How are you doing? And welcome to the Creation Station. I know there's so many of you that are new around here. Just want to say you're welcome here, and you're always welcome here. And I was going through the comments yesterday, and I got a comment from someone, and the comment made me a little bit triggered at first. Like, I can't believe this person said this. And it made me be like, that's an awesome thing for me to talk about. The comment was something along the lines of, hey, Luke, everyone always talks about the beauty of Bali. We know you love Bali, but everything can't be that great. And I believe it was a Balinese person who made this comment. So could you please talk about the bad things or the things you don't like about Bali? And that gave me a suggestion for today's video. Today's video, we're gonna talk about the things, I'm gonna give you guys 3 things and maybe a bonus thing of things that I do not like about Bali. And people who have been here can probably agree with me. No one really talks about this much, or that I've heard of, but I want to talk about it. So we're gonna go on a walk. I'm gonna take you guys away from here in the Creation Station to a little bit better view. We're gonna go for a walk, and I'm gonna explain to you guys the things that I do not like about Bali. If I could change it right now, I would. And hopefully by the end of this video, you'll kind of agree as well. But now let's go for a ride. I have to say number 1 thing I don't like about Bali is definitely the traffic. No, I'm joking. Okay, number one thing I don't like about Bali. Well, before we get started, I just need some gas real quick, and we'll try to go to a cool place where I can actually show you exactly what it is. So there's proof that you can see in the video of what I'm talking about. But first, let's spin to get some gas real quick. This kind of leads me to a question that a lot of people ask me is, what is the price of gas and what they call it here, petrolite? They have different kind of gas. People always ask me, it costs about $3 to fill up, and if you're just staying local in the city that you live in, it'll cost you maybe $2-3 a week in gas. If you're going on a lot of trips like me, then it's more like 5 or 10. But compared to like maybe 100 a month that I spend in France. And one hack thing I will tell you when you're here in Bali and you're filling up your scooter with gas, as soon as they fill your tank up with gas, move your scooter forward and then you can pay. That way the people just kind of move in. I just noticed that's a little bit of a thing that they do here. You know, in the States or wherever you're from, you're waiting, you wait, you pay, you do all that kind of stuff. Well, I got here just in time. But here, you always move forward, even if you push your bike forward. You don't just kind of block the thing after they filled your tank up. Just a little side note. But now, to what I was saying. The things that I don't like about Bali. Okay, so I'd have to say the number 1 thing, by far, that I don't like about Bali would be the trash situation. Not only the plastic situation, but the trash situation. Now, let me give you some context. I can be a very messy person. I'm not someone who is very eco-conscientious when it came to nature and protecting it. It never was in my awareness, but you know, just for example, there's a lot of plastic. Like, just there's trash everywhere. Now, like I say, I'm not judging, because if you come to my home, especially back when I was single and just did whatever, there was a lot of trash everywhere in my home, but I tried to never just throw it out in nature. And here there's a lot of trash everywhere. Now, I will say a lot of people are cleaning it up, and now there's it's become aware. People are more aware of the plastics that they use and all this kind of stuff, being more environmental friendly. There's so many places in Bali that are environmental friendly, and it's amazing. There's so much progress being made. One of the best things that I've ever seen. But look, you guys can see right here. And by the way, to give you some more context, I'm in the center of Ubud. So here it's pretty clean, but this is still in the center of a city that there's this much kind of trash, and it's just kind of everywhere. You see it in the rivers. I met with a scientist probably about a month and a half ago who was building things to stop the trash further up in the northern part of Bali, where it comes down so that it doesn't go into the streams, into the rivers, because you'll see it everywhere, especially on the beaches. I was shocked, as you guys know, when I came to Bali and you see the beautiful beaches, and what you'll see is this. So what I saw was like, this is the beach, it looks amazing. But when you're actually there and you just pan the camera around, you're like, oh my gosh. We stay in a place called Gianyar, and I've never seen so much trash. Now, On the good note, what a lot of the people are doing here is they have an exchange program, rice for plastic. People bring in a bag of plastics, like they pick this up and they get a bag of rice. So it's one of the most coolest things I've ever seen. But if there's something that I don't like, that bothers me, it would definitely be the trash everywhere. And like I say, I contribute to that because I'm not the cleanest person, but just becoming aware of it usually starts to make that little shift. So number one, definitely the trash. Number two, the dogs. No, I'm joking. The dogs are super friendly. So many people write me like, I'm scared of dogs, though. You think I'll be okay? The dogs are fine. As long as you don't bother the dogs, they don't bother you. One little trick I can tell you real quick about the dogs is when a dog kind of approaches you, everyone gets scared and they run away or they walk away from the dog. They do it to our dog all the time. When a dog approaches you, let's say there's a dog walking like this, just turn at it, and if it still follows you, just take a little 1 or 2 steps towards it, and it usually walks away. Just a little hint for you. But we'll go to another place, talk about the second thing that I don't like about Bali. And I'm pretty sure there's plenty of people who, if you're watching this, you probably can agree with me on this one just as much. Okay, so I'd have to say the number 2 thing, and this is what a lot of people come to me and say, and I hear it a lot, and when you come here, you'll experience it, is the Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi is, it's hit or miss. So one of the top 5 questions I've been getting the last month, as people have been writing me about Bali, is like, Luke, what's the situation with the Wi-Fi? It's hit or miss with the Wi-Fi. You can sign up for a place, most places now, most villas, hold on a second. Good morning. So you guys can see people sitting outside that cafe right there, probably using a fast Wi-Fi, but it's hit or miss. Most of the places, the villas, usually the first thing that they recommend, the first thing that they say they have and they'll show is the speed of their Wi-Fi. So when you're signing up for these villas, one thing I would plead of you guys to ask is ask the speed of the Wi-Fi. And whatever they tell you the speed is, just know that the speed is probably half of that. Now you can advance it, you can change it. The one thing that I've realized from moving around to maybe 7 or 8 different villas here is that it's about the location of it as well. If you're in the mountains or in the middle of nature, sometimes the Wi-Fi just isn't as fast. I haven't met anyone who needs Wi-Fi as much as I do because I'm uploading vlogs and videos like this, where a video like this is 3 gigabytes, and to get it up there, I need fast Wi-Fi or else I'll be sitting in a cafe for hours. But the one thing I've realized, and a hack you can use when you come to Bali, is look at the cafes where you see a lot of Westerns in there, or a lot of people on their computers, because that's usually a sign that that cafe has fast Wi-Fi. But if you're doing just very simple things, people are always like, I need fast Wi-Fi, I need very fast Wi-Fi. And I'm like, what are you doing? And they're like, oh, I'm designing websites, or I'm working on designing e-commerce, or building my own store online. And it's like, well, the internet's fast enough for that in my experience. Because for me, I like very fast Wi-Fi. At our place, we have very fast, so 3 gigabytes I can upload in 3 or 4 minutes, instead of before, if I were to go to a really quiet place, it might take an hour, 2 hours to upload in some of the places we've been in. But you can change, you can upgrade it, but more importantly, you'll find the places in the area that you live in that have the fast Wi-Fi. But when it comes to Wi-Fi, it's usually hit or miss every time. But that's a really frustrating thing sometimes. But like I say, if I wasn't uploading 3, 4, 5 gigabyte YouTube videos, then I probably would never have complaints about the Wi-Fi. That would be the number 2 thing that I don't like about Bali. And also I can easily put the sidewalks as well. Be careful. I always say walk in the street sometimes in the night, because sometimes these streets right here, there's just a hole. And in the night, if you're walking, especially in 2020, where everyone's walking and texting, and you don't see one of these holes that are just open up, pretty dangerous. But that's not one of the things. That didn't make the list though, falling in a hole, even though I've almost done that. So we'll go on to the 3rd thing, and we'll probably end on this 3rd thing, which is the thing that I don't like about Bali. Okay, now this has actually been a pretty difficult video to make. So, the 3rd and final thing that I do not like about Bali, or I don't know what I'm gonna call this video, what I don't like about living in Bali. The third and final thing, I would have to say that it is the bugs. The bugs. Like, I don't know, me and Danny were talking about this, we don't know what happened in the human history, in our trauma, ancestral trauma, why so many people are scared of spiders. I'm pretty sure you are as well, or you don't like them. But there are bugs everywhere. You know, that was my biggest fear coming to, honestly, to Asia, was the mosquitoes. I was so nervous, I was so worried about it. It hasn't been a huge problem. There's things you can do. There's candles you can light to get away from the mosquitoes. They have so many healthy sprays that you can use to keep away the mosquitoes. But it was a fear for me. In certain places we've lived, there's been more mosquitoes than others. But that was a big thing. You know, as you guys have seen, if you guys have been around and seen in the creation station, there's been so many times that you guys have seen in the background the geckos crawling around, and I didn't like those. But then I realized, like, wait a minute. Why I love geckos so much and why I'm so cool with them is because they eat the bugs. They eat the mosquitoes, just like the mosquitoes do. So for me, it was like the bugs were a huge thing. It was a huge almost fear for me when I was coming to Asia. And now that I've been here, it's just like, if I could just take the bugs away. But then if you take the bugs away, then that takes away something else, and that takes away something else. Take the spiders away, and that takes away the mosquitoes. So this was a huge thing for me that I kind of realized. And somebody, so that was one big huge thing that I realized. And when it comes to living in Bali, and I must say again, there's no place I'd rather be. This is a very important, this is a very important disclaimer alert, because I actually love here. I love living in Bali. It's been almost 10 months of living here, and I wouldn't change it. There's always things that I think that is very important when I'm sharing videos, and let's take this off because this is the more serious part. I think that when it comes to anything in life, that understand that there's good and there's bad. Nothing is always all good. And I hope that by watching this video that you, I hope that by watching this video that you see the other side as well. That there's not, even though it's a paradise, there's things that need to be worked on and improved. Even though your life, even though I'm great, I feel good, everything, there's things I need to work on. There's things that we all do. And I think by becoming aware of that, and sometimes not just saying, no, it's not a big deal, and taking it seriously, we can then make improvements. But if we're unaware of it, then it's hard to make improvements. And for that, I never want to just show the, as you guys know, if you've been around here a while, you've heard me say this a lot, I never just want to show the most amazing parts of my life, or of where I'm going, or of a country, but to show the bad parts, that yeah, this is super beautiful. But once again, there's plastic on the ground. There's plastic, plastic, plastic. And just increasing your awareness of something like this really helps you. I know some of you guys are like, Luke, you should pick it up. Like, if I did that, that would be for the video, and that's not something I normally do. But I think that it's important to be a realist and see the real things in life and in every situation. So I hope that in this video, like I say, disclaimer alert, I love Bali. I can't think of another place I'd rather be right now, except maybe Poland or Malta. But this is where I am. This is what I love it here. But like I say, it's important for me to always say the good and the bad, and not just share the amazing highlights as what everyone else does. Show the low lights as well. It's a kind of a mix and a balance in between the two. But as it is approaching 9:30, the sun is coming out and it is starting to cook. I want to wish you guys a great day, morning, afternoon, anything that comes to your mind. Leave a comment. I'm reading all the comments in the mornings. So it's getting hot out here already. Getting some coconut water. So leave a message, email, send me, let's talk. We need to talk. So send me a message, and everyone new around here, thank you for being here. Thank you for watching, and I'll speak to everyone later. And everyone, always remember to work hard, be brave, and don't forget to smile. Ciao.